Accessing mainframe.
Launch authorization received. Countdown sequence initiated.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Three Chix and Flix. I am Rhonda, also known as Socially Rhonda and the Realtor Premier. I am so excited to be with you ladies today. What's going on, Kim, Alicia? How my chicks doing? Y'all like?
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey.
Oh my God, I had a good week. We haven't taped in a minute, so y'all, I had a broken big toe and my boot.
Ouch.
I know my boot came off this week and I'm doing physical therapy. But I was in my orthopedic surgeon's office and he said, Alicia, tennis shoes until you see me on July 13th. I was like, okay. And so why did that man call me when I got home? He goes, Alicia, tennis shoes. Until July 13th.
Does he know you? Right. Did you tell him all of your tennis shoes have heels?
I was like, Dr. Rodriguez, I heard you, and trust me, I want this toe to get back to normal. So he was like, you just had that look in your eyes like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm like, I'm not going to put on a heel. I'm not. But I tell you, like, dressing during the day is easy. You know, you can put on a little casual dress, but going out at night has been challenging. Mm-hmm. I'm a high heel and a low neckline girl. That's me. So Rhonda, I may have to get some tips from you. Like, how do I dress at night with the tennis shoe?
Oh, because you know I got the tennis shoes for you.
Yes,
and when you come over, and please, you can borrow whichever ones you need to. I got colorful, I got bling, I got white, black, purple, yellow. I know. You know I'm a sneakerhead, so I got you.
Yeah, but I had a good week, good couple of weeks. I feel like the loft is finally done. Our pictures are hung. But I went to the Van Gogh immersive experience, and Rhonda, I know you went to. Oh my God, y'all! Find a ticket to go. I could have sat in that room all day. I actually watched like the whole thing like twice. It was absolutely amazing. But I had, but I had a good week. I had a good week, and then I had like a little snafu at work on Friday. And the last time I went home, actually bumped into a guy that we were really good friends in college, and we fell out behind something so stupid. My flight got delayed like 4 times when I was coming home from Houston, and I was sitting, I think, like at the Papacito's bar or something. And somebody comes up behind me and he goes, I'm sorry. And I turned around. We were friends. We made fast friends when I went to Texas Southern University my first year of college. So I met him as a freshman. By the time sophomore year rolled around, I transferred. And he used to come to U of H and hang out, and we fell out behind something so stupid. Literally hadn't talked since like the mid 80s. And anyway, we like sat at the bar and talked. He actually like missed his flight going a bit because my flight kept getting delayed. We talked. And anyway, yesterday, he's actually in Atlanta this whole week. He came in early yesterday and we hung out and just like picked up. We did like not miss a beat. And then I was like, what do you want to do? And he was like, well, what were you doing this week? And I was like, I wanted to watch Lupin. He was like, oh my God, I love that show. So we had I have 2 TVs in what I still call the man cave. I don't know why. So we had basketball at the top and
your she shed. You're gonna call it your she shed.
Yeah. He just left this morning. We had the best time, and we decided we weren't gonna discuss what happened. It is what it is, and it was just so weird.
So might this be a new love interest?
No, we were friends. He was like a Galen. My best friend in the world is Galen Davenport in Houston, Texas. And he was like my Galen before I met Galen. And we we had so much fun. He literally decided at the last minute to pick up and come. He didn't even bring a suitcase. He was like, I'm just going to go shopping. We went shopping yesterday. I said, I'll give you a suitcase to get back. We had so much fun, and I'm so glad he's here. We go hang out this week. And yeah, it was really fun just catching up with him, and just all of us forget like the stupid thing that we fell out about and just moved on. Yeah. So,
I love that. That is awesome. That is awesome. I had some highs and lows. I guess talking about old friends, one of my girlfriends from college, from Howard University, HU, came into town this week, and she and I met up at this really great restaurant called Blue Seafood House on Marietta Street. It's actually right next door to Rocksteady, that if you can imagine where it is. They have all-you-can-eat crab legs on Monday night, all-you-can-eat oysters on Wednesdays, all-you-can drink on Tuesdays. So she and I just caught up and reminisced about, our crazy days at Howard University and all of our shenanigans and parties and everything, and just figuring out who we still keep in touch with. So that was good. I guess the only negative was that my car broke down yesterday. So car's in the shop. We'll see what the damage is this week, but knock on wood, hopefully it won't be that bad. So all in all, it was a good week. So
nice.
What about you, Rhonda?
I had a great week. My week was short. I was in Miami. I went to Miami last weekend to go to the Mayweather fight and just get some beach time. And it was so weird. Even though it's just Miami, typically Miami wouldn't be a big deal. It'll be like, I'm going to Miami for the weekend to hang out or whatever. But you would have thought I was going to like Ibiza or Barcelona or like, it was because being an avid traveler and that was my first time on a plane in over a year. It was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, it was amazing. And then just to be on the beach, I mean, it just gave me life. I almost didn't come back, but I know y'all needed me to record. So I was like, let me get back.
No, Ron, I hear you. And I was only in Orange Beach, Alabama, which is beautiful, by the way. I would definitely go back. But yeah, just to feel your feet like in the sand.
Yes.
Oh.
And then, the whole plane situation was fine. I still don't understand why we have to, socially distance to get on the plane. But then we're on the plane and you like all coughing, got your mask beneath your nose. And I'm not going to say the lady who was sitting next to me they had her mask beneath her nose and kept coughing. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. Like, see, you are the exact reason. But anyway, I'm fine. I was nervous for the first day. I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to get sick? But I was fine. So yeah, I went to the Mayweather fight with some girlfriends, and, going to a professional fight has always been on my bucket list. But in my mind, it was going to be in Vegas, right? I was going to go in the wintertime. I was going to have on my fur and my heels and, just be ringside, and the sweat is just slapping me in the face, like they do on TV, right? It was nothing like that. Nothing like that. But I realized even if I did go to Vegas and have that actual experience, it's still like, okay, been there, done that. Like, what's next, And I think that's the exciting thing about life, is that there's always something that you haven't done, always something that you can experience, right? And then it may or may not be what you expected, but at least you did it, right? So I'm excited to see what other adventures are out there for me now that outside is wide open. I'm ready for all of it, everything. Where y'all want to go?
Anywhere and everywhere.
Anywhere
Yes,
with water.
Right. I am ready for all of it. Work is great. No complaints there, except that I got to work. But other than that, everything is wonderful.
Yeah. I feel like the person inside of me is supposed to be like independently wealthy and not working, but so far that hadn't happened for me. So,
well, I didn't tell you guys. I thought everyone knew that I was switched at birth. Didn't I tell you this already? No, I'm serious. Like, I'm really a princess. And I keep telling Mike, I'm like, why do you keep laughing? Stop laughing at me. You need to be helping me find my family. That's what you need to be doing, not laughing at me. Because I'm a princess. And there is somebody out there that is living my life that is miserable because they are a worker bee. They want to get up and work every day.
Right.
They are living my life. I got switched at birth. Like, I'm like, coming to America. Yeah, the rose petals, all of that. That's all me. So you guys are in royalty, in the presence of royalty. You need to accept that. No, Kim? Yes.
No, I'm just saying, oh my goodness.
Yes. See, instead of y'all laughing at me, you need to be online helping me find my family so we can all come up together.
Well, just give me my cut so we can be on the same.
I got you.
Okay, ladies, we're going to talk about The Woman in the Window, Fatma, and High on the Hog.
Awesome.
Let's get started.
So the first one we're going to talk about is The Woman in the Window, which is streaming on Netflix. It is a very suspenseful movie, very Hitchcock-like. It reminded me, I don't know if any of you have watched Rear Window with Jimmy Stewart back in the day, which was, oh my God, so good. But different, same plot,
but different.
But but different because he was stuck in the house because he had a broken leg, whereas she had agoraphobia, which is the fear of being outside, which was her crippling, hindrance, and that's why she stayed in the house and witnessed a murder. It's based on a book. I can't think of the author's name, but he apparently was very influenced by Hitchcock. So that's how.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When I looked it up, I should have grabbed his name, but apparently he was very influenced by Hitchcock. And so she witnesses a murder, but then she's made to believe that she didn't see what she saw, and had to keep, challenging these people to say, I know what I saw. I know who I met. I know what happened, but y'all ain't believing me. Stellar cast. Like, I don't understand how this didn't get more shine, but Amy Adams, who I'm a big fan of,
love her.
Gary Oldman, who never looks the same in any movie. Every movie I see him in, he never looks the same. I'm like, dude, like, really? Anthony Mackie, Juliette Moore, who
I
is
love
60.
Juliette Moore.
She's 60.
She looks good.
Looks amazing.
She looks good for a white woman. Jennifer Jason Leigh.
What does that mean? We're gonna edit that part out.
No,
we're gonna edit that part out.
Jennifer.
We're appealing to the masses.
Well, anyway,
the start and the end of Three Chicks and Flix.
Yeah, Miss Kitchen Table Talk. You cannot say that.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, who had like horrible wig in the movie, but I got turned on to her from, remember Single White Female back in the day?
Oh
yes.
Yeah, another
She was the replacement wife. Yeah.
Right.
And then Brian Tyree Henry, who is really just like, I don't watch the show Atlanta, but he's been in a lot of other movies and Marvel movies and other things. He played the detective, the heavyset black detective.
Right.
He's been doing his thing. So I really thought that this was a really well-rounded star, A-list cast for this movie.
And I agree with you. It was very Hitchcock-like. Like, after I watched it, I really y'all know, I don't have anything over my windows. I really had trouble sleeping. I'm like, that movie it was creepy. It scared me. Yes. It was just kind of scared me a little bit. I don't know.
Well, I thought there were a lot of twists and turns, very psychological. Mm-hmm. But the one thing trust your gut.
Yeah.
Trust your gut. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and you gotta advocate for yourself.
Right.
Because but I also understand, like, if the tables were turned and I was like the officer, like everybody except her, Like I could see, because she had everything working against her. She was on serious medication, right? She's already being judged because she has this condition that she can't socialize with people. So we know how important interaction is, physical touch and just, interaction with people. We know how important that is, right? And then when she's talking to her family that is not there, her family that already died out. You see what I'm saying? So you're hallucinating or living in fantasy land, which is reality to her. But these are all the things that are working against her. So why in the world, if you are talking to your dead husband and daughter every single day, why would I believe that you saw a murder?
Exactly. Yeah.
Out of the window. You just happen to be looking out the window and saw a murder.
The scene that creeped me out, Alicia, you told me, was the scene where they explained how her family died and then the car was in the living room. I was like, what?
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
But let's get on that was a badass house. I wasn't up for the way it was decorated.
That house was everything.
Huge. That house was huge.
That was Harlem, 100, because she kept saying I live on 125th Street.
Beautiful brown suit.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I was like, how was she maintaining that? She's saying she was a psychologist or something. Clearly she wasn't, or was she?
Oh, was she? Yeah. Was she really?
Was that for real, or was that?
Yeah.
I'm like, how was she maintaining that property? The little tenant downstairs wasn't doing it. So
right, because before you didn't know that her family was dead, I kept thinking, her husband is like helping her, and
exactly, exactly. They're separated, but so speaking of the tenant in the basement, now. I was kind of, his role, like they were cool, like he understood what her situation was, or did he really? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, was he working with the police? There's some things that I'm still kind of like, well, was that reality or was that her imagination? Like,
right, because after you saw everything, it was almost like, I don't really think he was like 100% like on her side. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he kept saying, I slept with, her name isn't that, her name is this. Like he was even doubting her story. Right.
But he had the facts. He was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was telling the truth. That was well written. I mean, I was totally convinced that all of that really happened. So for you guys that haven't watched it, spoiler alert, because we're talking about shows that we watched already. But so it was the husband. So this lady, she's looking out of the window at the apartment directly across the street from her, right? And so this lady comes, so in that house across the street is like a husband, wife, and a son. The wife has blonde hair, slim white lady, blonde hair. And she comes over across the street to like befriend her. And she's like, hey, and they talk and they have a drink. I don't know if they have
the lady that's like draws a picture.
Right, she draws a picture.
Yeah. Like
they are really just hitting it off. And it's great for her. And she welcomes it because she doesn't go outside. She doesn't have any friends, right? She doesn't go out. So now this person is coming over, a neighbor across the street just moved in. So she's like, hey, I got a friend. I got somebody I can talk to. We can have some drinks. She can come over. It's right across the street. I don't have to go out. Wonderful. But it only happened one time, right? I don't think the lady never came over again. And then she's looking out the window and sees the lady getting murdered. Like literally. Like the husband is like killing her. And so she's like, oh my God, got my camera. Then she has the camera, right? And it doesn't take any pictures either. Go figure. But I guess if you're in a situation like that, you can't really process. You probably couldn't even figure out how to focus. And so So she does. So she goes. She's calling, and so that's the premise of the story. She's like, I saw this lady get murdered.
Or
My
did
friend.
she? Wait,
My
but did
friend.
she? Yeah, but did she really have the footage? And then didn't she like drop the laptop or something?
No, they kept accusing her of saying, you never met this woman.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Right,
but what was the thing? Didn't she like drop her laptop or something? That's
when she figured out the woman really did exist, because she zoomed in the photo of the wine glass and you saw the woman's reflection.
Yeah. So she was like, I'm really, because she was even questioning herself, right? Like, did I really see that? Did she really come over? Yeah,
but but y'all, even though we've given away like most of the movie, it's still worth watching.
Well, anyway, I give the women in the window 5 sips. I thought that was excellent.
It
was really well written. Yeah.
Yep.
5 sips.
5 sips.
So the next movie we're going to talk about is Fatma, which Rhonda turned us on to in a text, as we normally do, between the 3 chicks. And so this one was another one that streamed on Netflix. And it was it's Turkish, because it's dubbed in English, thank God, because I just sometimes don't have the bandwidth to sit there and read subtitles for movies.
Right.
But
because we all work and watch.
Yeah, we're working, we're texting, we're like, okay, we're listening, but we can't. If you're subtitled, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. Very different, and I guess because it's a foreign series. I think it's about 7 or 8 episodes. I think they're about 45 minutes to an hour each. But it's this poor woman in Turkey, who's she's a housekeeper to several different people, and gets caught up in this underworld, I guess, if you want to call it, lack of a better term, and starts killing people.
Fucking killing everybody.
Like just killing
the reason she's killing everybody is because she's trying to find her husband.
Right.
That's why.
What was his name? Because if she says his name one more damn time.
I know. I
can't remember his name either. To say that she said it 1,000 times.
His name like 15 billion times, and then she had a autistic son who I think died. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but anyway.
But even like after the first episode, you're like, Fatma is a freaking beast.
Yeah. She's cold. She's cold.
Oh my God. But that wasn't the plan. She kind of fell into that. It was almost like she was basically in survival mode.
Oh, definitely.
Pushing people off of buildings and train tracks.
And she was so unassuming. But I'm like, she wore the same trench coat and headscarf every day.
I was going to make that point. I'm like, oh my God, can we get an outfit change here? Because the lady that she was working for, you can tell, like the daughter. You remember when she was at the house? The daughter was like, yeah.
Like, that's the same outfit, and that's not a cute outfit that multiple people would be wearing.
But she was so unassuming that she could be in plain sight, kill somebody, and they were like, that wasn't her. That wasn't her.
Right.
She would just hold her head down.
I wonder if they'll bring it back. I don't know, because like it was Turkish. I think it was my first time ever watching something produced in that country, but I loved it.
But wait, what about gosh, I just lost my thought. Oh, she escaped like so many opportunities of being caught. The best one though to me was when she was on the bus with her neighbor, her landlord. And she had diabetic. So her neighbor's diabetic, and her neighbor's husband has been trying to, hit on her because he knows that she's a single woman. And, in that country, in that culture, I guess, it's not safe to be a single woman. Right? You don't want you just don't want people to know, like you don't have any protection or whatever. So he would always try to take advantage, try to push up on her, whatever. and he met the right one because she sure did push him off the building. Okay. So now, so his wife now is like diabetic, and Fatma says, "I know where my husband is. I'm going to find my husband." And the landlord is like, "Well, I'm coming with you." She ain't got nothing else to do. She ain't got no husband. She ain't got no money. She don't know how she gonna survive. Fatma got money though. Oh, we gotta talk about her sister too. Anyway, so they're on the bus now, and the police, they're on the bus, and the officers get wind that she's escaping. She's on the bus. So she's sitting next to her. So they get in the ticket, and because I won't say God works in mysterious ways because it's kind of a bad thing, but her friend is so adamant about sitting next to the window. Fatma got the window seat. She like, I gotta sit next to the window. Fatma's like, whatever, fine. So now the officers get on the bus, and they're looking. They're like, Fatma, and the real Fatma sitting in the aisle like with her head down, as usual.
After she got shot over insulin.
Right. And he's like, "Do you know her?" And she's like, "No." And so they think it's Fatma, and they think she's actually dead. So she literally escapes again.
Okay, but y'all, but here's the part where I'm like, come on, y'all. You remember when she was, I think, talking to like the police, whatever, and she dropped the little piece of paper? Why couldn't she just pick it up? Why couldn't she just pick that little piece of paper up? You drop something out of your purse, you just like, pick it up. It's like, why did you leave that piece of, that was like the only criticism I have with that series. It's like, all she had to do is pick the paper up. You drop something out of your purse, you pick it up.
Right.
She wanted to get out of there because she had that gun.
I know. Right. She could have picked that piece of paper up.
And then, like you said, the sister, it was like total yin and yang, night and day between the sister. Like Fatma was like homely looking, poor, and the sister was, well, I don't know if she was wealthy, but she was well off, very pretty, very like night and day. It was just they didn't really explain how the sister came into her lifestyle, but very different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very different.
Yeah, and then for her sister to see Fatma just, for it to end like that was kind of like full circle. Because remember, when they were kids, Fatma was jealous of the sister because she was pretty.
She was,
and she pushed her off the
as a kid,
So it was so when Fatma ended up, jumping off the building or falling off the building or whatever, it was like, okay, it's kind of, and her sister was in the background. It kind of was like, okay, it kind of full circle, but Fatma was really, really good. And I'm with you, Kim. I can't just watch subtitles, but if it's dubbed in English, because some of them have amazing storylines, So I really, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Fatma.
I give it 5 steps.
Fatma was a good find, yeah. I give it 5.
And I think I don't think I'm going to have to explore and maybe find some other Turkish series.
I had no idea I didn't know it was Turkish either. Never got Turkish.
Yeah, so very interesting. And so we're going to segue into our last show, which is last show that we watched for this episode, and it's High on the Hog, which also streamed on Netflix. This is an all Netflix series. Normally we kind of I didn't even think about that. So we're talking about High on the Hog. It's based on a book by Dr. Jessica Harris, who is a former Essence magazine editor from the 70s. So that's when the magazine initially started. And I think she lives in Africa, but the series, it's a 4-part series, which I really thought could have been like 10. It was
it was only 4 parts?
It's only 4 episodes. Okay. It's only 4 episodes, but it does such an excellent job of explaining how African cuisine is so intertwined with American cuisine. Because we brought the flavor, honey.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And so they start in Benin, which is at West Africa, which is where a lot of slaves came from, Senegal, Ghana, the west coast of Africa. And so Benin is not one country you often hear of, but I thought it was very cool that they started there.
And I had never heard of it, so I was very intrigued.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so, if you're a foodie like I am, I'm a food snob. This is like the perfect series. I mean, very not really reminded me of No Reservations with Anthony Bourdain, who I'd like adored. Like, I'm still devastated that he's gone. But if you like those types of shows, and the new one that just came out with on CNN, what's the guy's name? The actor, the Italian guy. Stanley Tucci. Yeah. So you really get to learn. You're immersed in the culture and learning the food, and not just go to this touristy restaurant. You're really getting the nuts and bolts of how and things came about. And so, like I said, it was only 4 episodes. They started in Benin. They then came to the States and did North and South Carolina, Philly, New York City. And then the last episode ends in Texas, which is Alicia's home state. And so just a really great showcase of our diaspora to the culture. And I think it's also very timely in terms of what's going on in a lot of the school systems in the CRT critical race. These school systems not wanting to teach. History is history at the end of the day. Facts are facts. And they're trying to whitewash these things. But I feel like programming like this, I feel like I need to go back to school, because I'm like, damn, I didn't learn that, and I didn't learn this.
It was such a history lesson. But I have to mention how beautifully shot that was. And it's so weird. I've been trying to think of another photography class to take, and I think I'm going to do food photography. It's really a high demand for it right now. Yeah, but it was such a history lesson. It was so beautifully shot. I only watched the first episode, and after Kim told me that they were doing Texas, I had to jump to the last. But just I go to Lucille's almost every time when I go home. It's Lucille's has really not been around for a long time, but it's a small restaurant. Really quaint, but the food is just amazing. So it was just so good to see them featured. But I'm excited to watch the 2 episodes that I skipped on. But I don't know. I just love the way it was shot. I love the history of everything. Just when he was talking about the okra and and then the whole thing of that's where gumbo came from, and the talking about the yam and seeing the stacks and stacks of it was just I the 2 episodes I've watched, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, I think the one that you missed that I thoroughly enjoyed was about Hercules
and
yeah, one of my colleagues was telling me about that.
Hercules and Harrison. I'm I need to go back to school, Lord.
Right, because we hear sayings and we repeat them because it's apropos based on the setting, or so we think. I know, you hear Hercules, right? You think Eddie Murphy. And Hercules has absolutely nothing to do with whatever we think Eddie Murphy is.
Really?
He was a chef for
George Washington. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I mean, so George Washington, and who was the other president?
Jefferson? Jefferson's chef was Harrison, but the anecdote.
So George Washington and
Hercules was his chef.
But
Harrison was Jefferson.
But George Washington and Jefferson, they took their chefs, they made them travel with them so that they could be immersed in those cultures and learn how to cook those cuisines. And of course, I'm sure, they came back and add some of their own seasonings and their own techniques to it. But that episode right there, I was so engaged. And I want to go to that restaurant, Kim. Where is it? There's these guys that have a restaurant. I think it's either in Boston or DC, where they do what they think Hercules and Harrison, would have done. Their menus, their dishes. And so they have these pop-ups, and they curate these events and these dishes that would be similar to what Hercules or Harrison made. And I'm like, I need to go to this restaurant. I forgot the name of it now, but it's they talk about it in the movie. It was in the show. It was great.
But the only thing that bothered me is in the first episode when he was having dinner with the African lady, and then they just kind of like switch plates. I couldn't ever do that.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I don't care. It was pre-COVID. I don't care.
But in those cultures, everything is communal.
And
a lot of times
communal,
they eat with their hands.
And I guess that's why I live in America, because I could never do that.
Yeah, that's how they
Lord help her.
No, I love the Hercules and the Harrison story in terms of Hercules. Here are two of our founding fathers who are saying all people are created equal and inalienable rights, but they're slaves. And the fact that George Washington circumvented the law in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, where if a slave resided in Pennsylvania for more than 6 months, they automatically became free. Wow. Our founding father, George Washington, would purposely get to almost to the 6-month line and ship Hercules back to Mount Vernon, which was his estate in Virginia, so that he could bring him back to keep him as a slave. Mm-hmm. And so much so that when he would return Hercules to the plantation, he made Hercules work in the field. I mean, how demeaning is that?
And then self-centered. Jeez.
Oh my goodness. And then Harrison, who worked for Thomas Jefferson, he took him to France and he put him in culinary schools there so he could learn how to cook French cuisine. And France didn't have slavery, so he got a taste of freedom. So when he came back, he went to Jefferson and said, I want my freedom. And Jefferson said, well, if you want your freedom, you're going to have to teach your brother how to cook like you. And he sacrificed his brother, taught him how to cook so that he could be a free person in this country. I mean, just
So he put that part was a little troubling. So he put his brother into slavery so that he could be free.
Well, I'm assuming his brother was already a slave, but he was like, well, I want to be out. You got to take the L for me. So
what an L to take,
But even just speaking of slavery and the whole like Juneteenth episode, I have one friend that I've had this conversation with, because it's always like, I'm thinking this and I'm not sure everybody else is thinking this. But in Texas, I go back and forth about Juneteenth, because it's kind of like, so we're celebrating the fact that we were the last
people to learn
to find out that we were free. I really do struggle with that holiday. I really do.
I didn't find out about Juneteenth until a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me too. And I think when I look at it more as, and maybe because it's still new to me, like you, Kim, it's like, what? It's more of this was kind of like, this finalizes it. Now we're all free.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it. Even though they were lied to and it was, delayed, but it's like, okay, better late than never, kind of. And it's like, all right, this is the date that we are all truly free. Yeah. And so that's a call for celebration.
But I feel like even this year, Juneteenth is like on steroids. Like I've never seen it. Like, what's up?
Since 2019, since with all this Black Lives Matter and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I've never, even my assistant, who's a white man, he's from Texas. He went to he went to Texas A&T or Texas University or something. Anyway, but he's like, I celebrated Juneteenth growing up. He's very,
we've been celebrating it for years.
Like, we always celebrate Juneteenth. And I was like, what? And we here as Blacks in America, just in New York, where Kim and I grew up, or even in Atlanta, and didn't know anything about it.
Right, yeah. And it's always been so common for us. Like for the first time, even my company, I've been doing like graphics for Juneteenth. It's like New York office. It's like then this whole big Juneteenth celebration thing, And like even we have like a Firm Values Day coming up on the 18th, and we're going to talk about Juneteenth. We've never done that. So
Yeah.
it's quite interesting though.
Everybody's woke. Everybody's woke. Just like all these D and I stuff is coming up. Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
You know, like companies are taking a stance, and I am unapologetically Black, and I do not apologize for the fact that or I'm not. I don't even want to. I'm grateful that they're acknowledging us. But I'm also not going to be like, oh, thank you, because you should have been doing this, right? It should have been diversity, equity, and inclusion. We shouldn't have had to lose so many lives, you know, and have this crazy movement, crazy as far as impactful, crazy in a good way, like robust movement, in order for you to acknowledge that we haven't been equally treated, and there's been a lack of diversity and inclusion in your corporations, in your country.
And speaking of diversity, have y'all seen the redo of the gay pride? They have new colors. It's like, have y'all seen it yet? I'll send it to y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not
I
like
saw the one that has like all the letters. Like it was like
okay. It's like a whole like kind of different color.
A new rainbow.
Yes,
like
a new rainbow.
Okay.
Yeah, more like pastel-y kind of colors. They've kind of done away with the primer.
Is that the one, the Sesame Street with the Sesame Street hands? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
I posted that one. But let me just go back. One more thing about the show that we didn't talk about was the young man that I guess curated the show. His name is Steven Satterfield, who's originally from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, is he? Interesting.
Yes. And he's the editor of Whetstone magazine, which I've never heard of either. Okay. But I'm hoping if they bring the series back, they do like Georgia. Georgia, I'm sure, has a lot of history in cooking. My grandmother's originally from Albany, Georgia.
Where?
Albany. But down there they say Albany.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. They don't say Albany. Yes, ma'am. They say Albany, Georgia. So that's where my grandmother is originally from. Actually, a little town called Baconton, which is right next to Albany, Georgia. So I hope that I don't want to, you know, say the city wrong, but I hope that they bring it back, because four episodes was way too.
Wasn't enough.
It really was. I mean, you were salivating for more, if lack of a better term, because it's food. But I thought it was just excellent. Another 5 sips for me. So
yeah, great food, Jeff. 5 sips for me.
So bring it back. We need more Steven. We need more High on the Hog. I thought it was great.
And the name was so apropos too, right?
It really was, yeah.
Again, that goes back to we have all these sayings and we don't know what it actually comes from. Because they talked about where High on the Hog came from. But yeah, it's like we say all these things, Hercules, High on the Hog, and we have no idea what the origin is. Right. So we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful of the things that we say, really.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
We just kind of say it. It's like, whatever. Yeah.
Ready to do our 3 Chick Biz segment, where we highlight a small business, whether it be, you know, large or small, but we just love to shout them out. And so the next business we're going to shout out is Chef Curl RD. She is a chef that makes these amazing spices. And now that it's barbecue season, it's right on time to be talking about flavoring up your food. So I have original here. I have Cajun. She has lemon pepper, jerk chicken, jerk seasoning. And then she has a regular and low sodium or no sodium. So if you're looking, if you're watching for your health, she does give these options. And then if you follow her on Instagram or social media, she does these great quick little videos on salad. She makes salads, and she's always giving you new, fresh ideas on what you can do with her spices. So
now, Kim, can you just order them online, or is
yes, you can order them online. Her website is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's chefcurlrd.com, and just check her out. She ships real quickly to your house, and things are very fresh. I love her using her stuff all the time. So
I gotta try it out.
Definitely. So it looks like we're coming to the end of our show here.
No.
I know.
But we'll see each other in a few minutes because we're going to Rhonda's house
Oh, yeah.
for barbecue.
A barbecue. Yes. Barbecue and skinny margaritas. What a combination.
We just need Bethany Frankel to be there, right?
Yes, Bethany. Girl, we need you. Come on.
Because we love you.
And so you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you tell your friends about us. And if you want to be featured in our business segment, just email us at 3chixflix@gmail.com. And looking forward to seeing you ladies in a few.
Yes.
And stay cute.
And stay cute.
Ladies.